So there's a lot of people who don't drive because of anxiety from a traumatic experience or a car accident. And recently I was able to help someone begin driving again with the use of a semi-autonomous vehicle. Now, for most people, driving is meaningful because it allows you freedoms and privileges you wouldn't otherwise have. And that's why this specific situation worked for this individual because they needed to find a way to get their child to school. So in this case, they weren't ready to jump straight onto the road. So our first step was just getting them comfortable sitting in the driver's seat again. I started off by just getting in an empty parking lot. This helped them to actually take control of a Tesla and set it to full self-driving mode. And the idea was just to build trust and let the full self-driving handle the pressure of things so they could focus on learning the features without the pressure of traffic. Now, once they had practiced a few times, they could actually see how the Tesla's full self-driving could really help ease that anxiety, and it gave them a sense of control. Kind of like having a co-pilot, right? So after they were comfortable in the parking lot, we took the next step and we chose a time when traffic was lighter and they began to practice driving the school route. And so when we were driving, the Tesla kind of handled the driving like having a friend, just kind of supervising and stepping in when needed. And little by little, this routine built their confidence as they let full self-driving navigate, especially in less busy areas. And one of the biggest learning points was recognizing when full self-driving wasn't doing the best job. Now, this person had to get comfortable when to take over, especially when the full self-driving hesitated or made choices that didn't feel quite right. But every drive, I think, was just really important because it was kind of a step forward, kind of releasing that anxiety in a little way. Now, it's been about 2 months now, and driving still isn't effortless for this person, but full self-driving has made this entire journey so much more doable. It's taking some of the weight off, allowing them to focus on learning the road again, building up their confidence, and most importantly, just getting their child to school safely. So if you or someone you know has anxiety around driving, I can honestly say that if you drive a Tesla and you use full self-driving, it can actually make a pretty big difference. It's not about letting the car do everything for you. It's about having a tool that helps you to overcome those first few hurdles. And that meaningful goal, like taking a child to school paired with technology like this, can truly help people reclaim their independence. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because today you don't have to be rich to own a self-driving car because you can actually buy a lot of these used for much less, even less than half the price of a new one right now. Now, for doing all these tests, the car that we drove is actually a Tesla Model Y. It was only $21,000 after the federal tax rebates. And I think there's a lot of people out there that may have anxiety about driving related to a traumatic experience, but there's also a lot of people that have anxiety because of vision loss, seizure disorders, or just getting older and feeling less confident about being in the driver's seat. Now, with technology, there's always a lot to learn, and so I think this isn't a tool for everyone, but right now, I still think it's a step forward in the right direction, especially for those who have anxiety. Now, what are the cons of full self-driving cars? I would say for most people with anxiety, it's probably not going to be a whole lot of cons there. I think just getting in a car accident is definitely going to be a con, and that's going to be way more likely with somebody that has anxiety than someone that doesn't have anxiety. But there are cons for people that are older. So they say that older drivers are going to be less responsive to take over the wheel and take control of it than like a younger driver. There's actually a recent study that was testing people with full self-driving cars where the car was just doing all the work for them and driving for them. And when the person had to make a correction, so they had to take control of the car, a person that was younger was able to do it much faster. I would say I think it's like 1 second or 2 seconds faster than someone that is older. So I would say that that could be a little bit concerning if you are older, but I would say for the most part, people that are older and that may have anxiety with driving, this is a huge step to be able to help them just get to the grocery store. And if they just have to go like a small distance, short distance, and if it's not like the roads aren't too crazy, there's not too much traffic, it's really not going to be that big of an issue. Especially for anyone who lives like in a small town and just has to be able to get used to getting from their house to the grocery store. Maybe it's like a mile or 2 miles and they don't feel that comfortable. I think it's a self-driving car just makes sense for anyone who has anxiety or low vision or depression or anything that's just impairing their ability to get there. It could be even people that are like in a wheelchair or something like that, people that have paraplegia. I think that this isn't completely the answer. They're probably going to need some other tools to be able to take over. I still think that people with disabilities like spinal cord injury, people that can just barely use their hand, they still need steering controls to be able to maneuver the car before they can completely rely on self-driving. You still need to be able to take over because self-driving at this point still makes a lot of mistakes. All right, so I hope you found this video helpful. If you enjoy content like this, please subscribe. I will see you in the next one. I hope you have a great day.